Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I'm Eric, and this is it. The park battle that could be the last one for a while, but also the one where Cedar Point may finally go down. Before we get to the matchup, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when new theme park content comes out. So for those who are not aware, these park battles, I will be matching up the roller coasters, and whichever roller coaster wins in a specific matchup wins a point. I'll then do the same for different kinds of rides and other aspects of the parks. Cedar Point is on an undefeated winning streak. It has beaten many great parks like Six Flags Magic Mountain, Six Flags Great Adventure, Kings Island, so it is pretty hard to beat. However, with Iron Gwazi out, I think Busch Gardens Tampa stands a chance. Let's start the matchups. First off, B&M Inverts, Raptor and Montu. Montu is currently getting repainted, so it's not technically one you can ride at this moment. Maybe it's done by the time this video comes out, but as I record, it's being repainted. However, Montu earns the point. It is somehow more intense than Raptor and has even better elements. It's unbelievable. As far as B&M Inverts goes, I think it's one of the very best, so it definitely gets the point. Dive coasters are next. Between Valraven and SheiKra, I used to say Valraven was better. I thought it was just a really fun one. I enjoy the speed of it. The large elements are cool. However, I do personally prefer SheiKra overall. It's a bit better paced due to the mid-course brake run being a bit less harsh. And I think it's actually a bit more forceful. And even though I don't mind vest restraints, I do think SheiKra does have better restraints, and overall, it is a more fun ride. So I do prefer SheiKra, and it gets the point. Now for B&M and Loopers. Very different ones. We have Rougarou, which is a stand-up conversion, now a floorless, and Kumba, one of the first B&M Loopers. I personally think both are somewhat inconsistent. Both can give rough rides at times. However, I would take the best ride on Kumba over the best ride on Rougarou, and the worst ride on Kumba over the worst ride on Rougarou, as Rougarou's headbanging is worse than that of Kumba's, and Kumba's intensity and elements are really awesome. So it is a better ride. The three great B&Ms of Busch Gardens have given it a 3-point lead, but now for the Intamin Blitz coasters, Maverick and Cheetah Hunt. Before you rush to the comments and say it's unfair, these are both really strong rides. However, of course I'm going to have to give Maverick the point. Its intensity and much stronger elements, and the second tunnel launch, I think it is much more oriented toward thrill seekers, like myself, so I do think Maverick is better. Cheetah Hunt is still great, and these rides are both Intamin Blitz, which is why I'm comparing them. And I know it seems one-sided, but they're both really strong rides, even though Maverick does take the point. Now for some smaller looping coasters. Corkscrew, the Aerodynamics Looper, and Scorpion, the Schwarzkopf. I actually thought Corkscrew most recently was not nearly as bad as it has been called by many, actually. That said, I do think Scorpion is a pretty intense looper, and it's decently smooth for its age, and overall, I do think it is better. Both are good enough rides though, but I do think Scorpion gets this point. Now for kiddie coasters. This is a half point. Air Grover or Wilderness Run. And we are going to be giving the point to Air Grover. It is larger and a bit more thrilling, so I do think it deserves the point. Now it is time for family coasters that are not similar. I know this is a weird matchup, Iron Dragon and Cobra's Curse, but I thought having a matchup with Cobra's Curse would be important. And these rides are both really good. Iron Dragon has great terrain, some decent forces, and suspended coasters are quite fun. However, Cobra's Curse has really strong spinning sometimes. It's overall quite intense. I love the theming and presentation of the ride. The elevator lift is fun, and it is more enjoyable than Iron Dragon overall. I will point out my most recent ride at Cobra's Curse did not spin, which was interesting. I don't know if that's becoming a common thing or it was just a mistake kind of malfunction, but I still thought Cobra's Curse was the better ride. Now for the matchup we've all been waiting for, the RMC Hybrids, Steel Vengeance, and Iron Gwazi. Currently, my two favorite coasters in the world. However, the point goes to Big Upset, Iron Gwazi. I know some Steel Vengeance fans will be very mad at this, and honestly, I'm mad too. I like Steel Vengeance a lot. It was my favorite before Iron Gwazi, and I'm kind of sad to have it to dock as number 2. But I think Iron Gwazi is more intense and better paced, and that creates a much more out of control ride experience that is also a bit more comfortable than Steel Vengeance, in my opinion. And that is the roller coaster matchups. Busch Gardens Tampa has quite a lead, but now for extra coasters. Unfortunately for Busch Gardens Tampa, Cedar Point is getting 7.5 points for its extra coasters. Millennium Force, Gatekeeper, Gemini, Blue Streak, Cedar Creek Mine Ride, Magnum XL 200, and Top Thrill Dragster all get full points. Woodstock Express adds a half point. And then there is Busch Gardens Tampa, which gets 2 points for Tigress and Sand Serpent. That's all for roller coasters. On to drop towers. Power Tower and Falcon's Fury. For me, this is an easy point to Falcon's Fury. It has a much faster and more intense drop, and it's actually just one of the best drop towers in the world and my personal favorite. Now to compare flat rides. This one, Busch Gardens Tampa unfortunately cannot compete in. It doesn't really have any other flat rides. However, I'm going to give Cedar Point 3 points for Skyhawk, Windseeker, and Max Air. We can debate whether Max Air counts, but I'm pretty sure it's not going anywhere, so it will be getting a point. Now to compare the water rides. Snake River Falls and Thunder Canyon, I'm giving both of them 1 point at Cedar Point, and I'm giving each 1 point at Busch Gardens Tampa, the Congo River Rapids, and Stanley Falls Flume. So 2 points each in the water rides category. Both are strong, neither really tops one another. So for the other rides, which park has more non-roller coasters? Which one has a greater quantity? Cedar Point, easily. It has well over 50, 56 to be exact, while Busch Gardens Tampa has 17. So this is definitely going to go to Cedar Point. That's all for the ride stuff. We're on to shows. And Busch Gardens Tampa does have better shows. I'm giving it a point. It has some cool animal ones, ice skating show that's actually quite impressive, and a few pretty fun ones. Cedar Point has decent shows overall for what it is. It's not really a show-based park, but there are some parades they have and some live entertainment that's cool, but I am giving Busch Gardens Tampa the point. On to food. Not something I care about so much in a park, but given that these are pretty much these 2 parks I go to most often, I have a very good feel for their food. And overall, while I do love some Cedar Point food, I think Chickies and Pizza is a great chain to have. Some of the chains they have are great. I enjoy the food by Magnum XL 200 and the Melt. There's some really strong stuff. However, Busch Gardens Tampa has my favorite theme park food. Twisted Tail Pretzels and Zambia Smokehouse are top tier theme park food. Busch Gardens Tampa gets 1 point here. On to appearance. This is a very tough one to decide a winner on. I think Cedar Point is beautiful. It's not highly themed outside of the Frontier area, but every roller coaster looks stunning. The lake setting is fantastic, and it's a really beautiful place to walk around with a fantastic atmosphere. However, Busch Gardens Tampa has beautiful presentation on its roller coasters as well, with some nice architecture around most of them, and some really great African theming, some jungle stuff all around the park, and it really does feel quite immersive for what it is. This is a close one. However, I think I have to give the point to both of them. It's a tie. I don't normally have ties in categories, but I can't decide one that has a nicer appearance than the other. They both just are really nice to look at as you're walking around. Now it's for the layout. As you're walking around, this is another important aspect. And I will be giving Cedar Point this one. I've gotten very familiar with Busch Gardens Tampa's layout. It is my home park. However, I think especially for a first-time visitor, it is much easier to find your way from ride to ride and from restaurant to restaurant at Cedar Point. It has more going on, I think, but I do think it's better laid out. with more paths from place to place, and it does get points there. Operating season. This is important because if you go to a park in winter and it's closed, you can't have a great time there. So Cedar Point is closed for parts of the year due to the fact that it is in Ohio. However, Busch Gardens Tampa being in Florida, year-round opening. It's even open on Christmas Day, so it does get this point as well. And now for the final category. This is it, winner takes all here. Operations. And from my experience, Busch Gardens Tampa keeps some of its rides up and running pretty well. The B&Ms run pretty well overall. Just from what I've seen, Iron Gwazi is handling things well. But Cheetah Hunt and Cobra's Curse absolutely tank the operations here. Cheetah Hunt is closed nearly every time I go, for at least some period of time, many times all day. And Cobra's Curse, there seems to be a literal curse where every time I'm about to get on, it shuts down. It's interesting. Cedar Point, I think, has many more rides, so it's obviously easier for there to be an issue with one of them. But for major rides, I feel that it's really just Top Thrill Dragster, and at opening time, Steel Vengeance. It can be very annoying to run to Steel Vengeance and find it's not open yet, but I do think overall, once you get to the dispatch part of it, Cedar Point runs much faster. So I am definitely going to say Cedar Point has better operations. And miraculously, winning by only 1 point, definitely the closest match, is Cedar Point. Congratulations, Cedar Point, you remain the champion, undefeated. I personally am quite happy that Busch Gardens Tampa got close. I do think Cedar Point is a better park overall, even though Iron Gwazi really brings this one up. And that is the entire battle. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I don't plan to do a whole lot more because honestly a lot of you hate them. But I think this was a fun one to do, comparing Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance especially. Subscribe to the channel so you know when new content comes out. I'll see you next time.